Hello, everybody. My name is Mark. I'm the founder of CharityLiveStream.com. Feel free to call me Clive. And this is the second development update for the site. So to those of you who this is your first time here, every week I am doing a development update where I go over how the site has been updated and changed, answer your guys' questions, and give you guys a feel for what's going to be coming next. So let's just jump into it. So starting last Sunday, since our very first stream was on the previous Saturday, I used Sunday in order to get everything uploaded and to start to figure out how I was going to be laying out and designing the groups features on the current site. That was all to follow up what I had done with the community features the week prior, because with all the different community pages that I set up, those are all focused on finding news about the individuals on the site, but I wanted there to be a completely separate aspect for the groups on the site, so that way it would be much easier to find and join potential groups. So then moving on to Monday, get that update sent to you guys. So on Monday, I was working on the planning for a potential ukulele stream. And what I had determined was that the tech software and hardware that I have for this laptop are not up to snuff to be able to stream and run the game itself. And that was through some initial testing that I did, and then it was confirmed when I had tried to run the game the next day for that live stream, and then it just wouldn't work. The stream wouldn't be kept up. So right now I'm looking into the issue, whether or not I'm going to be doing the stream with ukulele, or if I'm going to be hooking up a different game for the charity live stream. I do want to get the Help Hope Live fundraiser going because there was some planning that was put into place. So that'll probably be done maybe at the end of next week. I'll just need to set up the correct date and time. Then I'll need to test the software with the capture card and the PlayStation 3 that I have. So since I wasn't able to get things running the way that I wanted it to, I started working on organizing a lot of the things in the back end, which included some of the documents for the research of the new charity guide that I'm currently working on. And let's see. And also to start streamlining some of the features for the nonprofits and just the basic charity fundraiser steps that users go through, and how I can improve things on the site even more to make it more streamlined. And that was basically it for Monday. So moving on to Tuesday. So Tuesday I tried to set up the stream and it didn't work, so I ended up shifting gears, and I worked to consolidate the menuing system on the site, so that way it was a lot more condensed, and that way the menus wouldn't drop into 2 rows when you were logged in. I got everything set up with the groups pages, which is the hero guilds page. So my thinking on that is going to be very similar to the community pages, but just focused around groups. I do need to come up with a categorization for groups, so that way as more and more come to the site, I'll be able to make it easier for groups to differentiate themselves depending on the types of content that they do and what their core focus is. But for now, I do have the page up, it's live, and everyone can go and search for groups that are currently on the site. if you have a group on CLS, then please be sure to go and update your profile, because I added a new community type feature. So that way, at least that can be the first step for determining whether or not your group falls under gaming, art, music, or game development. So then, what was the last thing? And then the last thing that I did was I added the cross navigation links on all of the community pages that are existing today. And so I'd mentioned that in the last update stream, how at the time the only thing on those pages was basic text descriptions. And so the next steps would be the cross navigation throughout the site, having the gaming page linked to gaming events and to gaming groups, and same thing with the art and the music and so on and so forth. So I added all of those cross navigation links. And so yeah, that was the end of Tuesday. So moving on to Wednesday. So Wednesday was about getting about following up on the live stream that I did the previous weekend, and getting that set up in a blog post, and trying to get just that whole process done for the first time, so that way I'll be able to do it a lot faster and easier for the subsequent times. So I created the new blog post, which you can go and you can see on the site currently, where I talked about the community rebuild that I did, all of the new links that were set up, how I'm going to be doing these streams, and some of the bug fixes that I did. And I went over all of that in the other video as well. And then I also started to set up the process for being able to get that information, get the news that these live streams are happening out to the community. So setting up the MailChimp emails to send them out to you guys, and updating the LinkedIn page and getting that out through those channels, and just working more on helping to establish the marketing systems, so that way when I update you guys, it's a lot easier for me to get the word out to all the different platforms, because the more I can automate and the more I can streamline, and the easier and faster that I make it for myself, the more time I can spend focusing on building new features and less time into the marketing. So yeah, that was kind of the crux of Wednesday. So moving on to Thursday. So Thursday was a day that I was starting to interact with some of the people who saw what I was doing, and they were starting to express some interest. So so a lot of my morning was just spent in meetings and talking with people and describing what it is that CharityLiveStream does, getting them, answering their questions on the site, and starting to just get the ball rolling on getting more people interested, and to streamline the onboarding process, because right now it's easy enough for anyone with an individual account to set up and get themselves going, but with business and nonprofit accounts, I'm working to make that easier to get it all done. So then I also added the blog post to Patreon, just because I'd forgotten to do that, and I started to work on the community highlights, the outline for how I'm going to be planning on getting it done, what is it going to look like, and then I also started the initial draft for the blog post for the sign up, and for everything explaining that. And that blog post is going to be going up a little later tonight. And everyone will be able to see it and get the links to, or get the form to fill out if you want to be featured on the community highlights. So then moving on to yesterday. And so yesterday was a mostly a research day. I discovered a couple new resources that might be useful to the site. I also started to post those some of the new resources that I found into the Discord. And those will be added into the new charity guide as soon as those pages get completed. But I wanted to at least start get into the habit of saying, oh, I found something that might be useful to the community. I'm going to add it to the resources page. And then I also completed the community highlights announcement post, but by the time that I had gotten back to it, it was already so late last night that it wouldn't have been worth putting up. And yeah, and then I got the outline for a lot of the work that's going to be coming up next for CLS, because so much of it so far has been focused on site development and making things easier within the site. So I wanted to start getting myself geared up for what I'm going to do for showing people not only what the site can do, but how it can make what they're planning with their events a lot easier. So so figuring out that, and then also figuring out what am I going to need to do in terms of marketing. What are, just like how I was setting up the blog posts and how those are going to be a regular thing now. I also want to determine and set up the regular emails to you guys on what are the events that are going to be going on that week. So that way, if you're signed up on the site, then you can get an update on what is it to look forward to. And what I'm thinking about, so that way I'm not spamming everyone, is I'll include those events at the end of the weekly emails that I'll be sending out that update you guys with the links to watch this stream and the subsequent ones. So that way every Monday there will be an email that goes out and it'll say, okay, this is what we talked about on the weekend. These are the events you have to look forward to. And once the community highlights get up and running, I'll also be able to link to that as well. So that way, when you sign up onto the site, you're able to stay constantly in the know of not only what is happening with the site's development, but what are other people using the site for. And yeah, that's basically it. So today was kind of busy. This stream got pushed out a little bit due to personal items, and of course, it's tax time. So yeah, that's about it. I can answer any questions that you guys have in the chat if you have any questions in the chat. And yeah, I mean, right now the current process of work that I'm doing has been a lot of organization, because I've been doing so much work with the Alpha Playground and with just making the current set of updates go live, that I need to start figuring out, okay, what am I going to do next and how am I going to do it? So in the short term, I'm going to continue working on the charity, the revamped CharityStream guide, and I'm going to be breaking that down into different pages for each individual step. And I'll probably be starting with getting those up and running. Tonight, I'm going to be posting out the community highlights application page, and then tomorrow, tomorrow's the holiday, so I'm going to be spending most of that with my family and friends, and I hope you do the same. So that way, I may start working on some things, maybe in the evening, to get the community highlights, the framework working for the community pages. So that way, whenever I add a new blog post for that highlight, it'll automatically show up on its proper community board page or community hub page. So yeah, getting those things up and running first, working on streamlining more of the how-to kind of information for the site. So updating the homepage, updating the step-by-step process of how to use the site, in addition to the process of just how to do a charity stream in general. Those are probably going to be my bigger focuses, along with reaching out to a lot of the nonprofits and businesses that I've talked to in the past, bringing them on board, helping them either get their profiles filled out, or if their profiles are already here on the site, figuring out, okay, what else can I add to make it more useful to you guys for learning information about them. And I think first and foremost, it's going to be updating the nonprofit pages, so that way, after you're done going through the basic information, one of the core things is going to be getting the information on, okay, I want to fundraise for this nonprofit. What are the platforms that they accept donations through? And to get that information just front and center, and whether or not, and if they have resources, and make sure that those are front and center as well. So that way, when you, the user, go and visit a nonprofit's website, you can have all the information about who are they, what do they do, and if you decide to fundraise for them, what is the quickest and easiest way in order to do that. So yeah, I don't see any questions in the chat. Everything looks good. So I guess that's it for this time around. It's been really great working with you guys this week. A lot of it is just the initial setup for a lot of the marketing and the outreach that I'm going to be doing, and just getting myself into a regular system and a regular pattern for doing these update streams, and making sure that I update every day to the Discord and everything else, and just getting myself into that pattern and making it routine, so that way as I make improvements, you guys are kept up to date, and there's a lot more communication between you guys and myself. So yeah, that's let's see, nope, nothing. So that'll be it for this charity stream. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to join me, or if you're seeing this after it's already posted, thank you for taking the time to watch. And I hope you all have a great Easter, or a great holiday, or just a great weekend if you don't celebrate Easter. And stay awesome, everyone.